All right, welcome to today's live lesson, and it's going to be water. We're going to continue the class that we had on water and reconsolidate the ideas regarding evaporation, boiling, factors that affect evaporation, condensation, water vapor, and so on. Okay, so let's jump straight into the questions. Question number 1. There are 4 plastic containers. Doesn't really matter whether they're made of plastic or metal, right? It's containers. What matters is their exposed surface area. So you know what exposed surface area is. Whatever exposure they have to the outside surrounding so that they may be evaporating quicker if there is a bigger exposed surface area. So 10 hours later, they're going to check which of these containers has the greatest amount of water left. If there is a lot of water left, then that container had the least evaporation rate. Okay, least evaporation going on, which means it had the least exposed surface area. Okay, we need to use the word exposed because even though there's a surface area in D which is longer than in B, but the exposed surface area can only have 1 arrow, whereas B can at least have 2 arrows or even 3. I can squeeze in 1 more. So can you see between B and D, the exposed surface area is the least in B. Can you see the difference? So this is the only confusion that I need to address, right? Between B and D, which one has the least exposed surface area? So definitely D will go through a smaller rate of evaporation given that there is less space for the water vapor to escape. So more water will be contained in D. Answer is B. All right. So that's that. This is the answer which will be shared with you later. The rate of evaporation is low. Okay, is low when the factors affecting the rate of evaporation is low as well. For example, there is no wind or there is a small exposed surface area, right? What else? And when the humidity is low, okay, evaporation rate is low. Whereas when all these factors are high, then the evaporation rate goes high. And what's the one more? Temperature of surrounding area must be low as well. So the rate of evaporation will be low when the exposed surface area is large. No, must be low. Presence of strong wind. No, must be weak wind. When the humidity is high. No, when it must be low. This is wrong. Okay, not everything. Okay, on a sunny day, no, it must be a cool day. However, humidity is high. What is humidity? When the humidity is high means the amount of water content in the air is very high. That's why in Singapore it's very, very hot because these air molecules, which are water vapor, are plentiful surrounding this area. So when the water tries to evaporate, it's actually, the space is full. So there's no space for it to evaporate into that area. So that's when we get the wind to come and assist to move these water molecules or water vapor molecules away so that evaporation can occur better. So therefore, when they mean C, when the humidity is high, it refers to this situation where the water molecules are blocking. So what happens is evaporation rate is low. Can you guys see that? So answer is C. Salt particles are obtained when the seawater in a dish is heated, and therefore you will have this kind of evaporation of the seawater, leaving the salt behind, right? So initially this was in liquid form. Then it turned into gaseous form. So the question is, what is the change in the state of water? And therefore we get liquid state change to gaseous state. That's the only change we can see is the correct option over here. What is the importance of the water cycle? Okay, is it to ensure a constant supply of fresh water for survival of all living things? Looks like it. It gives rise to 24 hours a day. That is only when the Earth is rotating one round. That's when you get 24 hours. So the rotation of the Earth is what that causes the 24 hours, not the water cycle. What else? Does it keep the amount of water on Earth approximately the same over the years? Yes, because you have a cycle. You have water that goes up, comes down, keeps it in a cycle. So it's actually recycled. Water goes up, you remove water from the sea, it gets back down by rain. Okay, so you got rainwater, you got evaporation. And this cycle helps to keep the amount of water on Earth approximately the same over many, many, many years. So answer is A and C only, which is B. Okay. Study the graph below, which shows how the water is used in the various activities in a family. What information can you get from the graph? This is the most important thing I need you to pay attention to, because later I will show you another example where the question is important. Okay, though there may be some of the options here may be true, but it may not be applicable to the question. All right, so you need to see whether you can get this data from the graph or not. The percentage of water, yes, I can get percentage of water because it is being shown in the graph. You're using the various activities of the family. Yes, I can see that as well. So A is true. B, the amount of water used in the food and drink in the family. Yes, you may think that the food and drink is shown here, so it's true. However, it's not true because it's not the amount. Amount means how much. Is it 5 liters, 10 liters, 10 liters, 100 liters? Is not the amount, but the graph is only showing the percentage compared to the rest of the usages. How much percentage is used in food and drink? So you cannot see the actual amount. So this is wrong. Hence, the statement is wrong. So we got A correct, B wrong. C, the activity that used the most water in the family. Yes, you can see that by shading this. You can see is in blue. Maybe I should use another color since we are looking at let's use green. Okay, for the third option. You see, I can see which one uses the most water. Showering. So I can get it from the graph. Finally, does the graph show the ways to conserve water at home? No, no. It doesn't show any indication of how to save water. It only shows that people are using water, how much water is being used for what purpose. Okay, is it a lot or little? That's it. But not even the exact amount. So B is wrong, D is wrong, A and C are correct. So answer will be just A. All right. Okay, the following table describes 4 objects and their properties. Which of the following objects and their properties is false? So you just need to look at one of the properties, right? Which one? Of the piggy bank, the rubber band, the snow, and the tap water. Piggy bank is a solid. It's a solid. Snow is also like ice, so it's solid. Tap water is liquid. Okay, so does it have a definite volume? Yes. It should have. Liquid, does it have a definite volume? Yes. Okay, it should be yes. And does it have a definite shape? It should be yes. Water, does it have a definite shape? Should be no, so it's correct. So the table below describes 4 objects. Which of the following objects and their property is false? See, they are looking at the negative option, which is here, right? Because both are cross. It matches the false requirement asked there. So answer is C. Okay. When water vapor is cooled, cool meaning, okay, I show for you all a drawing so you can see. See water vapor, most likely when you place a metal cool plate over here or a sheet, it will have droplets of water forming there. How did these droplets form? What are these droplets? Droplets of water coming from the water vapor because they cool. Therefore, they lose heat. Therefore, they condense. Therefore, they form water droplets. Okay. So, which of the statements here refers to the statements that I've just mentioned? It changes from the liquid state to the gaseous state. Wrong. It changes from the gaseous state to the liquid state. Opposite, right? Because you can see from the diagram clearly, it's from the gaseous state to the liquid state. It condenses into liquid water through, it evaporates. When water vapor is cool, no, it condenses. We just talked about it. So the whole process here is wrong. It condenses and it loses heat. Yes, we just mentioned that as well here. So that is correct. So is it, we want correct statement or wrong statement? Correct statement. So which are the correct statements? B and D. Very good. Answer is B and D. All right. Let me move on. Number 8. Some salt is added to a beaker of ice cubes. Then a test tube containing 10 milliliter of tap water is placed in the beaker as shown below. What will happen to the tap water in the test tube? All right. So some salt. What do you think happens when salt is added? Okay, it lowers. Okay, I put down an arrow. Lowers melting point. So originally, ice melting point is about 0 degrees Celsius. However, when you add salt, then the salted ice melting point is lowered to maybe minus 15 degrees Celsius. Okay, this is where salt becomes useful, like on the roads in winter countries where they will try to lower the freezing point so that they do not have ice, rather they will have water even in freezing conditions so that you can travel on the roads. Okay, so in this case, since you have ice cubes that are at very low temperature, you are actually mimicking that of a fridge that is lower than 0 degrees Celsius because the ice hasn't melted yet. So then this water will exchange heat with this ice and be able to freeze when the temperature hits 0 degrees Celsius. So obviously initially it is at room temperature, then it gets lowered and lowered and lowered because of the exchange of heat, and it will freeze at 0 degrees Celsius. So here they have given answer as it will boil. Does it mean it will boil or not? Hello, there's nothing to do with boiling over here. It will evaporate, also wrong. It will change into a solid. Yes, that is the freezing component that I'm talking about. It will gain heat or lose heat. It will lose heat. So this is also wrong. So answer is C. Clear? All right. What can X, Y, and Z in the chart below be? Okay. If you look at the options, I can look at Z first to give me a clue because Z gives me only wind and steam to consider. And because I know at 100 degrees Celsius, it will change into steam, water vapor. If they're giving me steam, water vapor, I understand, right? But they're giving me wind. Nothing changed to wind at 100 degrees. So that's wrong. So that's why I can eliminate A and B in this option. Now I can look at Y. I go backwards. Before it becomes steam, it's a liquid water, right? Before 100 degrees was applied, is liquid water. That's perfect. So that means I still can, but still cannot choose between A, C, and D yet. Now comes to the final choice of choosing X. How or what do you get when liquid water is at 0 degrees Celsius? Now, do you get ice or do you get ice cream? Ice cream is made of milk and a lot of other ingredients for you to eat. It's a dessert. It's not just liquid water. Liquid water that is frozen becomes ice. Do you eat ice or do you eat ice cream? Do you say, Mommy, can you freeze